Alright guys, JK the interviewer, and this new little setup, they got me. They want me to test this stuff out, so my boy, go ahead and introduce yourself, let them know who you is.
Short break shaman. We'll just
Alright.
go with the shaman though.
He helped me set up everything. We got the equipment straight, so of course he gonna be here to test it out with me. But we wanted to have a little conversation while we got these equipment. You feel me? Just in case it's the audio and everything sound good. But we was talking about aliens, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know how recently that's their recent distraction tactic. I feel like that's what they're using it for. That's what's going on right now, and you think like how I think, so it is. So give us us, because it's being recorded. Like give us your take of like what you feel these aliens are and what's going on with it. Like what are their intentions?
Well, I was gonna say that you said it's a current tactic, but I feel like it's always been a tactic. It's always been going on.
The aliens?
To an extent, I feel like it has been a recent development with like the releasing of documents, saying
Yeah.
the government more of
They're
giving
taking
recognition.
more of a claim, like, oh yeah, these things have been real,
True.
we knew about it.
Yeah, they're starting to give it more light. I do think it's a little bit of that, draw the attention away from the current other atrocities going on in the world, but I don't think it should be something that should shock a whole bunch of people as much as it will.
So it's gonna shock
Well,
people and everything.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh, what's up with this thing? Tight as an old fucker. But we're gonna try another one. Yeah, it'll definitely disturb a lot of people. But you have to look at it, and the thing is like nobody knows like everything that's going on in the world or the universe, or no. We can only reach so far. There's got to be things outside of our reach. It's almost conceited to think that we're the only things in the universe. And I mean, that's the way I look at it. That
Like, do you think we
you
should
can't
be?
write it off without we haven't been there. We haven't been that far. We haven't reached. Every day science is making new discoveries and new advancements and new, building some rocket ship for cheaper or faster to go farther. Well, I know we're not on the, NASA's not on the greatest of advancements at the moment,
But do you think they're telling us everything though? And if they are telling us everything, are they telling us the truth?
no, of course they're not telling you everything. I mean,
Is it our place though? Do you think like we're supposed to be one of those like, oh, let's go discover this, that, and the third, or we supposed to just live life? Because I feel like we're just supposed to, like, if we would never have been so far in advanced technology and everything, we can live like the people in the mountains and stuff, and just be so happy about shit, and just live the good life without war, without hate, without racism, or any of these these social issues that we have present today. I feel like because of because we know like, hey, I'm smarter than you, it's a thing now. But then you got some people that they had, like, let's say the higher ups, right? The shadow government that Trump was talking about, right? They know more than all of us. You feel me?
yeah.
And so they only like, hey, I want y'all to tell the citizens this much information, like. But they was never supposed to have that information in the first place, to dictate who knows what. But because they have that information,
It's been built that way.
yeah,
It's been built that way. Over time, that I mean, they want it to be that way, so that they control information. Like knowledge is power.
Which is it? Yeah.
The
Money.
more you know,
There's no real. There's no real power in money. It's all about what you know. And I feel like the one.
Yeah, it's the most valuable asset is knowledge. I mean, if you really think about it, there's like people killed every day over like what they know or don't know, or things like that. Whether it be big CIA agent kind of spy shit or something in a much more everyday sense.
I'm glad you said that, because you already know what it is. Like in the shadow government, there's people like the whistleblowers that like they find out some information like, yo, we gotta tell the people. They're like, nah, and then you know what happens.
Well,
you got them Jason Bourne people that they sent to kill you and make it look like an accident. Like how these other people just like, I don't think every suicide, every car accident, every this mysterious whatever is mysterious. Like it's like this dude knew something, he was gonna tell somebody, he already told somebody, so we gotta knock him off. Now we gotta knock this folk off. Now we gotta knock, like, basically that's what's going on. And now with the internet, you just put some shit out there, in an encrypted email or whatever, so it doesn't connect back to you. And now everybody know it, because everybody just sharing shit.
They've definitely. I mean, I feel like because of the technology age we're in, it is getting more. We are getting more of an insight into some of that stuff because, like you said, we do have whistleblowers and finding other routes to go to get information to people. But like that shadow government still has a pretty good grasp on like how much we.
You think so? I think
to
the information. I feel like the information is out there. It's just our responsibility to find it, cause they can't just tell you, or else they gonna get their ass killed. So that's why they gotta be like, know what? I'm gonna just put it out there. You know what you know. Cause you see how they released all them information last year during the whole pandemic, but how much shit have people really looked up? There's certain people that know certain things, they just can't talk about it, or they get quieted.
Yeah, so I mean, it's to like, you talk about the extent of like the government and like what they're telling you and like trusting the government.
You shouldn't trust the government.
You think about things like, what was
Do you trust the government?
Well, I was gonna bring up the
Yes or no?
the like 400 like African American men that like died from syphilis because the government wanted to see what would happen to them. Like they let those men die. They could have been treated with penicillin, but a government-funded medical study wanted to see what would happen. So they let them die. Like that right there.
Go ahead.
Should show you that you should at least question things. You shouldn't just say, oh, it's the government. They're like, they have my best interest at heart. Because that's an illusion. Like, they can't have your best interest and theirs. It doesn't work that way.
Okay. Talk. Tell us how you really feel.
It's one of those things, it's like, there's always going to be that, like, it's really the illusion of power that, or like what information you're let in on that really controls things. Because, like, down to it, everything we do is based on what the government tells you is right or wrong or whatever, so.
It's based off what they allow.
True.
Because they could do the same thing that you did, and you might have broken the law, but in their mind, I know it, I can do this. I cannot pay my taxes and don't go to prison.
That's true. I mean,
look what happened to Wesley Snipes.
You look at a lot of people, and it does seem like a manhunt in a certain sense.
Agenda. Go ahead. Say the word.
Agenda. Yeah.
I'm glad I got to talk like this, because
Yeah.
Like it's like, this is not live, so I just if it was live, they'd probably like cut me off real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, they're probably getting some stuff.
Well, you know, that's why I'm independent. I'm sponsored by the people. I'm for the people. Morgan and Morgan. That wasn't a plug.
But like, I mean, this is how I feel on a daily basis. I don't know about you or anyone else, but like, I've been outside this country, like, for extended periods of time. I love this country to death. I wouldn't want to be raised in any other country. But our system has a lot of flaws, you know, and to ignore those is
It's choosing to be ignorant. It's choosing to be ignorant.
Yeah, it's doing no one any good. It's just like I mean, there's so many things about the government that just is an illusion and just plays into that they really want to help you, and at the end of the day, that's not the case. Like,
it's all about control. It's all about control.
Yeah.
Have you looked into the Georgia Guidestones?
What was that?
The Georgia Guidestones.
I think I read a little bit about that.
Look at the YouTube. It's on YouTube. That's a plug. So when y'all see this, look up in Georgia Guidestones.
What was that one? You're not gonna explain it?
Basically, it's all about, from what I looked into, because you know I looked into it before, and then I happened to stumble onto the knowledge before again.
Uh-huh.
So that's a sign.
Yeah.
So supposedly it's the Illuminati like instructions on like how to control the world after an apocalypse. Basically, you got to keep the world down to 500 million. So it's all about population control. It's basically the Illuminati version of the Ten Commandments. Look into it.
How to control the world?
Basically, in so many words.
Yeah.
They're not telling you how to control the world.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they ain't gonna tell you that, but you know they put it in plain sight. Like you got to look into it. Like if you care to know, you're gonna look it up. So
yeah.
Georgia Guidestones.
Population control. None of that's going.
Yeah.
on.
Oh, that's real. That's real.
No, it's not going on at the moment or anything.
It is. Oh,
Sarcasm.
sarcasm. Yeah, it is. See, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like they've been controlling folk. Planned Parenthood, these vaccines they shoot up. They don't tell you what's in it.
I mean,
the food,
I'm not.
our living conditions.
I want to state that I'm not one that wants to. I'm not one that feeds into conspiracy theories. I'm not one that bites onto everyone. But
the whole title conspiracy theory is just a title they gave
that.
people.
Yeah. Well,
that whole thing is not even real. So what is a conspiracy theory?
Okay, I guess extremist would be the word then. An extremist, you know, the ones that you see on the TV, you know, is stating facts that they found on the internet somewhere. And
see, I don't like them folks because I feel like they have the wrong approach. Good intentions, wrong approach. Yeah. Because that's not how you pass on knowledge. You're supposed to like, hey man, like, because not everybody wants to hear it. So you can't just, like, you see how we talking?
Yeah.
We're having a conversation.
That's what, I mean.
You don't go on national TV like, oh, the government is putting whatever in your chicken. And I'm like,
yeah, you're instantly.
You're creating panic.
Yeah.
Like how they did with the whole gas crisis.
Well, not only that, you're instantly, like, labeling any group that backs you as an extremist or, somebody that's got a loose grip on reality or. You know, like they got a couple screws loose, you know, and that paints that picture for the whole group when you're standing up there doing that. So, don't want to get behind that kind of stuff too much. I'm just saying that there's definitely a lot of things that should be questioned more than they are. I feel like a lot of people are just like, that's the way it is, and you just go about your life like. It shouldn't be just like, that shouldn't be the answer, I don't think, that's the way it is. Like, you know, that's like an excuse.
Basically going with, the crowd, following the crowd you're basically a sheep, you know?
Like if everybody's in, like, has their own thoughts and stuff. We're all entitled to our own opinions and
Exactly, free will. How is it free will when you're doing what you're told?
yeah, we should all be able to at least discuss.
Difference of opinions without being called wrong. You should have
Yeah.
everything that is not always an argument.
Well, I feel like not even that everything's not an argument, but like the world's not so black and white. You know, there's a lot of gray areas to shit.
Definitely.
It's perspective. You know, to one person it may be right, the other one it's wrong, depending on how their life is gone.
Speaking of life, we was talking earlier about how you parked Cherokee Indian.
A little bit.
Shout out to my dog.
Yeah, a little bit in there
It's,
still.
hey, it's okay. You was
The
telling me a
culture.
funny history on
Yeah,
the whole. Yeah, let us know that. You know.
the culture interests me, and a recent thing I learned was that apparently in the Cherokee history that's been passed down, they believe their origins come from Egypt. This is pre.
They believe, or is it the truth that it's not public?
Well, the way that I took it was that they didn't state it was fact. They stated that this is what's been passed down.
Okay.
This is the story that we were told from our fathers and their fathers. You know, this is a story that was passed down. If it's made up, then they passed down a made up story, I guess is what they were saying. But they believe that it was that they came from Egypt. They were a undesirable group of people, not Egyptians. The Egyptians looked down upon them as a people most likely closer to the Jews, but they were sent on ships to the Americas to cultivate and send back tobacco because it is extremely important in the embalming process. The nicotine helps with the preservation process for mummification.
That's a history lesson for you guys.
So apparently that was like how they got to the Americas, and then the Egyptians just stopped sending ships one day, so they were left to fend for themselves and develop the land, and that's what they believe became the Cherokee people. I thought it was really interesting. It's not what I had expected, but it does kind of.
It definitely makes sense.
It goes into that we all.
Especially how they wiped them out so easily.
Yeah, I mean it goes into the whole, that everything started from one kind of cradle somewhere, like we all branched out from somewhere originally.
Branched out, brought to, tomato, what is it? Tomato, potato, whatever that is. I'm just saying.
Tomato.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, it makes sense, like, the way history tells it is like, it did, like, genocide, the white man killed off everybody, like, what if it wasn't that much people to kill off? Like, what if it was like, it was enough to where you could control the population, to where, like,
So you're saying if there's less people to kill off, then it's less of a genocide?
It's less of a not less of a genocide. I mean, like, how they just they killed off everyone.
Yeah.
But what if they just they probably killed off a couple, not and then they like, hey, get in line or you're gonna end up like your boy.
Oh
and then the way history tells it, like, oh yeah, it was this much, and I'm like, the way if you pay attention to history, it makes the white man look like a devil. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Like all this shit that like you kill off the end is like the Europeans, what they did to the Jews.
Oh yeah,
you know,
he just wanted everybody's
racism. Not
He just
racism.
wanted everybody's
Racism,
shit.
but slavery, like everything,
Yeah.
like the origin is to the white man.
That
It doesn't paint the white man to be
the
like.
one that trips me up. Is the
Like, why would you tell a story like that?
It's the slavery one, and that one. The person that brought it up to me was a teacher of mine in college, and
Hey, let him know that you went to HBCU.
the University of
okay.
Maryland Eastern Shore.
All right. So this is good. This is a good story this man about to tell. Go ahead.
So this man stood up in front of the class, and the topic of slavery had brought up, and something was mentioned about white devil and such and blah blah blah, and he put a stop to that real quick.
The teacher.
Yes.
Or professor.
He said, that shit really irks me. He said, with the white devil and stuff like that, because that is just as much of a generalization, because he stated that yes, slavery happened because of a white man, but if it wasn't for a group of white men, then slavery would still be going on. There had to be a group of white men that said this was wrong and it needs to be stopped. Without that, it would still be going on. So they're not all bad. It's just a lot of people with a really bad viewpoint. You know, it's not something to blame people's, like, generations later that had nothing to do with it. Like,
But that's
if you were to say I was white and that you hold something against me because I'm white because of slavery, that's ridiculous. I had nothing to do with that. I sure as shit wouldn't have, like.
But that's how society. That's how we're programmed.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
like
exactly.
it's easy to like hate this man because slavery happened. Like
exactly.
listen.
It's all about differences.
You feel me? Like slavery happened. You know, there's some white people that they like it hurts them to their core. I met a lot of good white people.
Yeah.
Like a lot of good white people.
I'm sure there's a lot.
And a lot of
that
them
still
like
wish
they
it
go
was going
hard.
on.
They go hard for us. You know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, so I can never jump on that wagon like, oh,
I feel
F
like
the white man. The white man is. Well, I'm like, yo, listen.
I feel like color is
We gotta get.
a terrible basis to judge on because
It's more important things to hate somebody. About.
Yeah.
Well, hate is wrong anyway, but it's
true. But I mean, my parents told me that more important than the color of anyone's skin is their actions, and that
the fruit of their labor. The fruit of their labor.
That is the first thing.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't judge somebody because of like what color they are. That doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't make you any better than the other person or any different. Like, it's just like that. Judging a book by its cover sense. You know, you don't know anything about them. I just feel like that's such a crazy concept to like generalize, but it is like you said, it's programming. You know, it's everything is broken down into like those kind of differences and how each group feels about, oh, did you see what this one, the media tries to pin one against the other.
The media.
Yeah, you play into
I like that. Fake news. That's why I like Trump. That's why I like Trump. Because
I don't know.
I don't like about the bullshit that he invoked in people, like the hate that he made people want to tap into.
Yeah.
But he was telling some truth. The fake news. News is fake.
Oh, for
All
sure.
of it's fake.
It's that
It's all what they want you to know, what they want you to hear, what they want you to think.
Well, it's more of like what sells in a sense.
Money.
Like a good story isn't like, cat caught in a tree kind of shit anymore. Like, people want some like shootouts and fucking like somebody get killed or something like that, something entertaining to watch. Like, they're too used to.
They want to be
Hollywood.
distracted. They want to be distracted. Just say that.
Oh well.
They like the distraction, because, like, most of the time, let's say remove all the bullshit that they make a society appear to be. Like, it's killing everywhere.
Yeah.
There's killing happening, but Let's say you walk out your house.
Yeah.
You walk out your house today. How many people saw get killed?
No.
Alright? Turn on your TV. How many people you hear get killed?
Oh, shit, like.
Exactly. You're like,
Well,
damn, this
put the
killing
news
everyone.
on. Yeah.
As soon as you turn on that TV,
Yeah.
news. Oh, someone's getting killed. Change channel.
All of a sudden, that world, it starts to encroach on yours.
Exactly.
It starts to become, you know, you feel like it's around you when it's not. It's almost that, like,
They're trying to program you.
like you said, you were talking about you brought up the gas thing.
Oh,
There
yeah.
was a gas shortage.
It was no gas shortage.
Everybody in the
It was a
building
gas shortage after they ran and go bought gas.
Yeah, that was when there was a gas
You feel me?
shortage. Yeah.
Like the shit that he did with the toilet paper,
Same stuff.
Same,
They're probably,
bro.
those people are probably still sitting
all
there
that
now,
toilet paper,
now
all
the
the
toilet
bottled
paper at
water
the
that they
house.
bought, like for what? I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I didn't buy it, but you know, it's a house, so you know when you live in a house, everybody do their little thing. We got hella water in our garage. We got hella water that it's piled up under clothes. That we forgot was there.
Yeah.
Just because they said, oh, you know, this is gonna happen, and you run and go panic, and you see everybody. Like, and then I remember when they bought all the bread.
But you weren't elbowing somebody's grandma to get new toilet paper,
no.
were you? So
Nah,
that's what I'm saying. There's some
matter
people
of fact,
that are doing that shit.
I
Like,
believe I got toilet paper for free because I worked at a hotel. They was giving it out.
see?
Cause I'm not one of them. I'm not one of them folks. I mean, I'm a free thinker.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta, like, yeah, I definitely, like, consider it, like, preparing and stuff like that. I don't
Yeah,
think
it's good to be prepared, but at the end of the day, you can't take.
But the extremes
Mhm.
is where it's really.
where you
that-
start
that
encroaching
guy
on
who's-
somebody's personal space.
Yeah, or
When-
that guy that you see that's got 3 carts of toilet paper, like, come on.
For what?
He's still got that toilet paper,
Mhm.
like, his kids are building forts out of that shit right now, cause he, like, you know, like, what did that do? All it did was make 10 other families uncomfortable because they didn't feel they had enough, you know, because you had to be, you know, so.
That's how they set it up, man.
No.
That's fake news, man. That's why I don't like fake news, man. I don't even
I
watch
feel like
TV
it's
no
that
more.
double entendre, I think is the word for
Hell
it. Whatever.
no.
No,
News
that-
ain't.
is that the word? No, that's not the word, I don't think. But
What's
whatever, it's like, news is like, I don't.
It's good to be
It
informed.
hasn't been news in a long
Oh
time.
yeah.
Like, the fake part and the news, like, news isn't really news anymore. It's like just another television show,
Mhm.
you know, to an extent.
Basically.
Really, I mean, it's just finding which skits or clips are gonna get the most views and let's put
That's
them
all
together.
it is. That's all
You
it
know?
is. It's a way how to get some money. But yeah, man. I ain't gonna lie, that was a good conversation.
Oh yeah,
I felt like it was a good one.
I do like chatting on that stuff. I mean, I feel like
This is really my regular type of thing. Like I really look up shit, and I just watch like literally. I be at work all
Mhm.
8 hours. This is what I'm looking up.
Oh yeah, just different kinds of like
Cause I feel like this like I could be on social media all like on that 8 hours. I'm probably
scrolling,
on social media probably like 2 hours
just doing this,
throughout the. It's not like, but when you look up shit and you just like damn, I
learning
didn't-
something.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
People don't like to learn no more.
Nah.
They want to be entertained.
They think they think that stopped like when school stopped. Like I don't need to learn shit no more. Like
The
I've
shit you
got it
learn,
all, like,
the shit you learn in
nah.
schools wasn't even useful.
nah,
They didn't teach you about real life.
nah.
Some schools did, but
I mean, there's some shit that
yeah,
like you know.
like basic math. But
Yeah,
They
I think
could-
it's
they
more
coulda
of a
told you about
structured
real life.
shit. Like I think it was more structured, but like there's definitely like you should be trying to learn these things. Like you shouldn't be like, oh, I'm good. Like there's a ton of shit out there that like I don't know, you don't know. Like
oh hell yeah,
get into that.
I'm probably
shit.
gonna die not knowing like
Hell
a quarter of
yeah.
the shit I should know.
More than that, probably. By the time we're that, it'll have be tripled. You know.
You feel
On
me?
the
It's
down
always something
shit.
new. It's
Yeah,
always-
there's always something new.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I feel.
Till we get into some, till we figure out it's a simulation or some shit.
No, the Matrix. Yeah, I already know it's the Matrix. Like I've been dropping hints in this conversation about
Yeah,
it being
yeah.
the Matrix. Like, and you agree? Yeah, I believe it's the Matrix.
I don't know if I agree.
Yeah, I feel. Like, I
And
really
it's
feel.
a- I
I feel
don't-
like this reality is not the reality we was meant. Cause you know all this bullshit they put in our body, like so much. Like they said, the chemtrails in the air. Like we're not really living in the reality we're supposed to be living in. So who says it's not like a whole dimension that it's not supposed to be here?
Like
that's when you have people that like they be tapping in and shit. They be like doing drugs and shit. They say like, oh my god, I just seen some shit. Nah, you probably saw some shit for real.
like okay, so I think there probably is some kind of like reality outside of our understanding, you know. They talk the back doors. They talk about like
that book. What you talking about?
Where they go into the like no clipping through walls or into a separate dimension or almost like a back dimension of ours, something like that, outside of like time and space and stuff. And that still comes back to the same thing. Like I believe there's lots of parts of our universe that like we don't understand, or like I'm sure there is some weird shit going on out there that like somewhere that like we don't get, dealing with the time or space or whatever. But when it comes back to like the simulation, whether it is or isn't, I don't think that really makes a difference in our like everyday life. It doesn't change like the immediate stuff around us in a sense of like
you can't really do nothing about it anyway.
Yeah,
it's just good to be informed because
your
approach changes.
But still, it's not like if you found out it was a simulation tomorrow that you would go and do anything any differently, because you still have like there's some sort of rules or there's some sort of basis of accountability or what the ramifications of your actions are going to be. I mean, you don't really know as the character in the game what happens after you die. You know. Yeah.
So
you don't want to risk.
You don't respond because you know it's a chance.
Yeah, you don't know as the character whether the respawn is gonna happen or not.
It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen.
That's what I mean.
I don't believe like that whole reincarnation thing that people like. There's some people that believe it. I don't believe in that shit. I'm not calling it shit, but I just don't believe in it. Like once you die, that's it. That's it.
I think it can be looked at just like everything in different lights, in the sense of like, maybe it's not like how you're thinking of it, that like you die as you and you wake up tomorrow and you're like in a fucking flower or something. Like, I don't think it's gonna be like that, but if you think about it in terms,
there's an afterlife. There's definitely an afterlife, but once you die, you die. Like, cause I feel like this I feel reincarnation is real. What? So you really tell me I gotta live with one arm before I die for real? I feel like it's like, cause you know how they say, you know, reincarnation. If you die, you come back as or whatever, based off of how you live. With this life you have now, let's say you cut your arm. Yeah. Now you have one arm for like until you die, and then you start over. Why is that? Like, if we just gonna die and then come back as something else. Why is life like that if reincarnation is real? You tell me I gotta live this one life I have before I start over as a bear with one arm.
Wait, what? Why's the bear gonna have one arm?
No, the bear gonna have like you would be a regular bear. Like, you're born a bear. Now you gotta start your new life as a bear, but as a human,
but the consciousness.
Like, as a human, I got my arm cut off. Why the hell I gotta live like a one-armed human if reincarnation is something?
Because it's not about that one particular life, and it's about like.
So like what? So you tell me.
Trying to reach enlightenment.
How you reach enlightenment as a bear?
I don't know.
You feel me? But if you start
as one of the things you don't
so understand. Like if you start as a like a human and then you die, you become
live
another
the best
human.
Bear life you can.
So basically you got that bear life to the basically you have to live your life based on the construct of like the reality you have.
Like, I guess.
And then you die and you become what? A human again?
Maybe. Roll the dice.
So why the hell I have to live that one life as a human, as the one? You know how they have people. I used to live one of my lives was like a old lady named Mary. I'm like, old lady. So that life you live was like, it doesn't make sense if reincarnation is a real thing.
Well, I think of it more as like an energy thing. I guess. Like, no, I'm not saying that like I believe that, but like when I think about that, I think of it as more like an energy thing. You know, like whatever energy makes up my body was then recycled for this bug or whatever the fuck it is. But I don't really grasp that to the fullest how the whole enlightenment and
that shit don't work.
earning your way.
Like, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. That's why, you know.
I mean, I think it all really comes down to the same thing, is that, like, no matter what, like, this is the one you got right now, so you better make it a good one.
Yeah, basically, basically everything that one man told us is flawed. It's extremely flawed.
Well,
Because, you know, reincarnation, that's something a man created. You know?
oh, well,
You know?
I mean,
I'm just saying. You know, that's how you gotta look about it. Because that's a... Where did that knowledge come from? Somebody told somebody that told somebody that told a group of people, and they all agreed on something. Everybody, like, all this, like, religion and stuff.
I think you should look at it more as a perspective.
That a man created.
A man's perspective.
Amen. Mm-hmm.
A man's perspective. That's
I'm not saying amen, but hey, you see how I came up with amen?
Yeah.
You caught that?
Yes. I'm saying that, like, it could, in a sense, if everyone was more lenient on their definitions, everything could fall in the same categories and fall all together. You know, it's like telling a story from different perspectives. You know, like, I don't know, say you get pulled over or something, like, your story, the cop's story, and, like, the lady fucking eating Burger King watching it happen, her story is going to be completely different, you know, but it's the same event, you know, that's just how people are, you know.
Everybody got their own perspective.
Yeah, and that's how things fall into that more gray area.
Exactly.
Less of the right and wrong, more of perspective. You know?
Yeah. I like that. We both say you know. Alright, man.
Yeah.
So we got enough footage.
Oh yeah.
So hopefully this equipment works, you know.
Test it out.
Yeah.
Give it another whirl.
Yeah. Alright, man. We out.